For this tutorial, there are some terms you need to know. Pattern selector dial, needle, needle clamp screw, bobbin winder spindle, hand wheel. The pattern selector dial is to set the symbol of the desired stitch pattern. On computerized machines, stitches are usually selected on a menu screen. You can adjust the stitch width and stitch length for the best result of sewing. The needle is a small, very thin piece of polished metal which is used for sewing. It has a sharp point at one end and a hole in the other for a thread to go through. The needle clamp screw is a clamp that holds the needle in place. It provides the bottom thread and it is placed above the needle. The bobbin winder spindle is where the bobbin is placed in order to the machine to start winding it, or in other words, to make it spin in a way that the thread or yarn enfolds the bobbin without getting tangled. The hand wheel, also called the balance wheel, is a larger knob on the right side of your machine. It is used to control the movement of both the take-up lever and the needle.
In this tutorial, we will teach you how to make a double-sided pillowcase by showing you how to set and use a sewing machine. This is a very useful machine that was invented during the first industrial revolution to decrease the amount of manual sewing work performed in clothing companies. Nowadays, it helps by reducing the time of sewing process and makes the clothes cheaper and fashionable. Without it, we wouldn't have most of the clothes that we use daily. It works by inserting a tiny needle up and down through multiple layers of thick fabric.
What are we going to need? A sewing machine, 2 different fabrics, scissors, a pen or marker, thread of the color of your choice, measuring tape, needle, and a pillow.
Procedure: setting the sewing machine. 1. Turn on the sewing machine. 2. Put your spool of thread on the spindle at the top of the machine. The thread should unwind from the bottom to the front. 3. Wind the bobbin. Place the bobbin spool on the bobbin winder on the top. 4. Follow the guides and wrap the thread from the thread spool around the guide and to the bobbin. 5. Turn the bobbin winder on in fast speed and wait for it to stop automatically when the bobbin is full and cut the thread. 6. Place the bobbin in the bobbin cage below the needle on the lower half of the sewing machine. Pass the thread through the small notch at the front of the case and then pull to the left. Leave the end of the thread outside. It will need to be brought up through the hole in the needle plate after you have threaded the top thread. 7. Take the thread and pull it through the thread guide at the top, and then down and around the take-up lever. Just follow the small numbers and arrows printed on the machine showing the way in which to thread the machine. 8. Put the thread behind the needle bar thread guide above the needle, while lowering the needle threader lever. Hook the thread onto the guide. Fully lower the needle threader lever until the hook passes through the eye of the needle. Release the needle threader lever and pull the loop of the thread pass through the eye of the needle toward the rear of the machine, pulling out about 5 cm or 2 inches of thread toward the rear of the machine. Now, once you prepare the sewing machine, you'll start the double-sided pillowcase. 1. To begin with, you will need to measure the pillow that you are going to use with the pillowcase. Once you have the width and length, leave some extra space at the sides from 5 to 7 extra centimeters more or less, because it is where you are going to sew the case. 2. Once everything is well measured and you left the extra space, use a pencil or a Sharpie to mark the measurements on the fabrics of your preference, and proceed to cut them. 3. Before you start to use the sewing machine, make sure the thread in it is of the right color. 4. Now it's time to put the fabrics together so it is double-sided at the end. 5. Take the 2 fabrics and place them on top of each other. The sides with the design have to be facing outwards. This means that the sides of the fabrics without design are not going to be seen, they will be inside. 6. Sew them together. Remember to adjust the presser foot and to push the pedal to start sewing. 7. Your fabrics will end up being just one piece, where both sides will have a print, design, or basically the part of them that you want to see once the pillowcase gets done. 8. Check again the measurements. If the marks can't be seen, mark them again. 9. Fold the cloth to the middle in a way that the pillow will fit. Once you do this, remember that one of the shorter sides is going to remain open to introduce the pillow and to fold it backwards to see the other side. 10. Once it is folded, you will only have to sew 2 sides, the large open side and the one short side. 11. Finally, use a lighter to burn the threads that are coming out. This will prevent the pillow from ripping. 12. Your pillowcase is ready. You can fold it backwards to see the other side.
So you need to measure correctly the fabric and consider the space where you sew. Otherwise, the fabric won't be enough once you try to put the pillow inside. The two fabrics need to be of the same size or else you have a deformed pillowcase. If you don't want enough thread in the bobbin, then halfway through the sewing process, the thread will finish and won't sew correctly. If you don't push the pedal enough and you keep pulling the fabric, then the stitches will be separated and you will have spaces without thread. You need to keep looking at your designated line, otherwise your stitches will be crooked.
The difficulties we had is that if you want the pillowcase to look more professional, you could try sewing and hem. Ours looked a little frayed, but you can also burn the ending so those strings disappear. You should have more fabric than necessary, so if you mess up a part or you miscalculate it, you'll have more fabric to use. If you're new at sewing, start with a medium speed so you can have more control when sewing. Draw a well-defined line when you'll sew so the seams are straight. Practice with fabric you won't use so you can be sure that the pattern is the way you need it. Also, this will help you if it's your first time, so if you mess up, it won't be on your final product. Keep your fabric straight when sewing so it's easier to keep the length straight.